All right, everybody. We got a fun one here today. So, this is a video I've had kicking around in my head because it's kind of been inspired by a couple of other videos I did. I talked about games that I love that other people don't, and I talked about DK64 and how it deleted my save data. So I wanted to do a video basically like my biggest gaming tragedies, where I was going to talk about the Donkey Kong erasing my data, and I was going to mention a game or two that I could have bought at the time that have only skyrocketed in price. And I kind of wasn't sure how I wanted to do that. Did I want to talk about three unique things, like a game skyrocketing in price, another game deleting my save data, stuff like that, and have it be like three different points? Or did I just want to talk about some games that escaped me? And finally, I was watching Emily's videos, who, if you're not subscribed to her, check her out. I'll leave a link to her channel down below. I say she's the female Metal Jesus. Her content's very cool. She's got an awesome collection. Does really cool videos like these. So if you like my content, you'll probably love her content. So I was watching her do this video over games that she had a chance to buy and didn't. And I was like, okay, dagnabbit, we're doing a video response to this. So I picked out three games that, well, three-ish games that it hurts to look back on and think, man, we could have had them at such better prices than what they're going for now. So let's dive into the first game, shall we? And that's Chrono Trigger. My retro collectors will know all about Chrono Trigger. This game is very special to me, even though I've never played it, I've never owned it, I've never even seen a Let's Play of it. So you may be thinking, what in the world? Well, I've given my uncle a couple of different shoutouts here on the channel, and that's because he was very influential to me and my brother when we were younger. He was living with my grandmother. My grandmother was our babysitter, so he introduced us to a lot of video games at the time. To give you an idea, he installed the entire NES library onto my grandmother's computer, and mind you, this is like 2005 or so. And that's how we played the original Zelda, was on my grandmother's computer, thanks to an emulator. Like, he was teaching me about emulators at such a young age, right? He gave us our Earthbound on Super Nintendo, and he made a comment that has stood out to me, like, 20 years later, give or take. He said to me, and he knows how much we love Zelda, right? Like, we loved Ocarina of Time, and that's where he was like, you guys got to go play Link to the Past. You guys got to go play the original Zelda. But he said to us, Chrono Trigger is better than Zelda. And at this time, I respect my uncle's gaming opinions at this point. And I was like, oh my gosh, what? Like, he was telling us, like, the Super Nintendo just dunks all over the N64, and you really had to play all these RPGs. He'd talk about Final Fantasy III, he'd talk about Earthbound, he'd talk about Chrono Trigger, and he said, and he loved the PS1. The RPGs on it, were mind-blowing at the time. He loved Ocarina of Time, and he still said, Chrono Trigger's the best game ever made. And that really stuck with me. It put Chrono Trigger on this, like, mythical pedestal. And you see, I was down in a video game shop. Now, mind you, this is 2016, I think, maybe 2017, but somewhere around there. Somewhere between 2015 and 2017, because I had just started collecting games, like, actively, like going to retro game stores and tracking my collection, stuff like that. And I tell the owner the same story that I just said here, and he said, well, this trade-in just came in, like, we just priced this stuff, and he let me hold Chrono Trigger in my hand. The whole marketing, the whole sales gimmick is let the employee or let the customer hold the product, and they're less likely to put it back. But he had $120 on it, told me, well, you can get it for $100, dude. And I said, oh, dude, I really wish. And I told him I had to pass on it. And that video game store is going to be the centerpiece for a couple of games here today. And I gave it back to him because I couldn't throw the $100 at it. And it has haunted me. Now, I have said that Chrono Trigger is going to be the last video game I buy. It's going to complete, or at least retro. I may keep up with, like, modern consoles as they come out, but I said Chrono Trigger is going to be the last retro game I buy. And I'm still collecting for my N64, my Gamecube, and my Wii U. So I've kind of put off buying Chrono Trigger. And I've started romanticizing buying Chrono Trigger. Like, I'm going to buy it, I'm going to ride off into the sunset, and I'm going to play my video game collection that I have amassed. And, you know, it's just, it's my one that got away that kills me more than anything. Is I had Chrono Trigger in my hand for $100 and couldn't do it. And if you don't know, it's now doubled in value. It's like a $200 game. So next up is Sculptor's Cut. For those of you that don't know, that's Clay Fighter 63rd and a third Sculptor's Cut ridiculousness, right? And it's basically, to my understanding, a souped up version. I guess think of like a like an Ultimate Edition or something like that. It was released through Blockbuster. The Sculptor's Cut was. And I guess it came with more fighters. I mean, if you guys know, feel free to tell me. This game's so far out of my price range, I don't even bother keeping up with it. It's almost uninteresting to me now. Like, it was cool when I was getting into the N64. But I've made my peace. There's a $30 version of this game, Sculptor's Cut, right? Or not Sculptor's Cut, but Clay Fighter 63rd and a third. It's only $30. Why do I need a $300 Ultimate version of the same game? But, you know, this video is titled Games I Regret Not Buying, or, you know, the games that got away, something like that, right? So why is it in this video if I've made my peace with it? Same game store, similar time, maybe like a year apart. Sculptor's Cut was in their showcase for $300, which I can't remember how fair of a price that was at the time. I think it was like a $350 game, something like that. They had it for $300. That game is $1,000 now. So yeah, having the chance to have bought it for $300 when it's now $1,000, stupid, dude. Like, it's just so dumb. Obviously, I didn't really have $300 to throw at it, and really, I mean, my problem with it is it calls into question how much money is reasonable to spend on a video game or anything that's not like an essential. I had this dilemma with comic books. My Holy Grail comic book, I had enough money for it, and I had a guy who had it. I had $800 saved up. And, you know, Jessica was like, you know, you've wanted this book, you saved the money, you put in the time, you put the money back. We've got our bills paid. That's, you know. And I looked at her and I said, being an adult sucks. Because I have $800 to buy the comic book of my dreams. And I can't do it, man. I cannot throw $800 at a comic book. So everybody's got that line in the sand of like, yeah, you've saved, you've budgeted. And now that you've got this money, it's like, you could do anything else. You could pay your car insurance for 6 months. You could, you know, beef up that emergency fund. Like, look at it. We're a retro gaming channel. We're sitting here talking about financial advice. Crazy. But at the time, I definitely did not have $300 to throw at this. And I wasn't going to take out a credit card to, you know, buy Sculptor's Cut. So I made my peace with it. It sucks that I could have got it for $300 and it's $1,000 now. So don't be surprised that this video is in the games that got away and the games that I'm in a video called like games I'm fine not owning or something like that. So yeah, that's Sculptor's Cut. Like I said, being $1,000 as like a ultimate version of a game that already exists on the N64 has really killed any motivation for it. But man, would I have loved to lock in that $300 price over a $1,000 price, right? That's I guess the take home here. The last game I'm going to talk about today is one I went back and forth on, and that's Devil's Third on Wii U. I'm going for a complete Wii U set, and I'm missing 2 games. Just Dance 2019 and Devil's Third. And Devil's Third is $200, $250, somewhere between, I mean, depending on price, condition, is it sealed, something like that. You know, it ranges from $200 to $300. And my buddy, the reason I went back and forth on not getting it or not putting it in this video is because I've never seen it in person. But my buddy who runs a video game store was like, well, dude, shoot, if that's the only game you have left for your collection, I'll just sell you mine. And I said, well, how much do you want for it? And he said somewhere between like 300, 350. And he's like, but mine's sealed. I said, well, shoot, dude, I ain't got no need for a sealed video game. So we couldn't agree on a price. And again, it being up at 200, 300 bucks, you're already on the precipice of my, like, I don't even know if I want to spend that kind of money on a game like this. So I figured I'd throw in some other Wii U stuff, since I'm a big Wii U collector and Devil's Third is not one I've actually seen in person. The Twilight Princess Amiibo bundle. I wanted all the Amiibos. And I don't see them anymore, guys. Now that they are not sold through retail like your Walmart and your GameStop, I don't see those anymore at all. But at work, we actually had the Twilight Princess one, which is my most desired, maybe video game product, but definitely the Wii U bundles. I have the base game, but for those of you that don't know, the Wolf Link Amiibo actually adds an extra dungeon to the game. So that is pretty sick. And I've told myself I can live with not getting the box. I can just get the Wolf Amiibo. But it was at work, and I kind of regret not getting it because I get 25% off, and it's in those Amiibo boxes. So if I just bought it from work, I wouldn't have to worry about getting damaged in the shipping, you know. So I kind of regret it. Really kicking myself over that one. Even though I do own Twilight Princess. Or how about all the eShop exclusive games that are down? Like Fatal Frame. Man, I don't even like the genre or the franchise of Fatal Frame, but it used the gamepad, and I just love games that give us a reason to use the gamepad. So the fact that this one didn't get a North American release is bonkers to me. Just absolutely bonkers. But there are other, digital eShop exclusives that I just don't have access to now. So the Wii U, I've got a couple regrets over the years, but those are some of the bigger ones for sure. Alright guys, that's all the games I wanted to talk about today. I do want to hit this point home for you guys, okay? Yes, these are games I regret not buying, mostly because of the price they were at compared to what they are now, or the availability has gotten a lot scarcer since, almost 10 years ago. But I'll say this, no game is worth going in debt over. If you can't afford a game, just save. There's a lot of good reasons to save instead of throwing it on a credit card. A, you can't afford it. B, it gives you time to think about if you really want the game, right? Like, my life is not significantly worse because I passed up on Sculptor's Cut. It may have been significantly worse going $300 into debt trying to buy it. Just things to think about. We're all video game collectors, and some of us trade in our games, some of us sell stuff off to fund the hobby, some of us work overtime to scrounge up some money. We all build our collections different ways, but just remember, guys, like, we all want those epic grails and those awesome stories to go with it, but no games are worth going in debt over. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. With that out of the way, please tell me down below, what are some games that that got away from you? Because it's still painful to talk about them, even if we know we shouldn't lose sleep over it. We shouldn't be thinking about buying these games. It's still fun to talk about. So let me know down below, what are some games that got away from you? As always, let me know what kind of games you want to see, or what kind of videos over video games do you guys want to see? I can't talk. Go subscribe to Emily's channel. Peace out, everybody. We'll see you in the next exciting video. Have a great rest of your day.